Excuse me. Yes, Perry the Pelican. We were just about to start Larry Gets Lost in New York City. Well, before you start, I just have what you would call a public service announcement before we begin the story. Well, I go ahead, I guess. Well, you see, I'm from the big city. You know, I'm a retired cop. And, I recommend that you always stay close to your people, hold hands of your parents, or in this guy's case, your owner, because the city can be a big place, scary when you get lost. I hate to have to, put out an APB on one of yours. Okay, well, thank you for that. No APBs now, though. We are all safe and sound at KidTime StoryTime, where we will begin this adventure. This is Larry, and this is Pete, just a regular boy. In the back of a taxi, they ride down the street. Their yellow cab beeped as it made its way towards another adventurous city-filled day. This one was by far the biggest they'd ever seen. An island and a mainland with bridges in between. Now it gives us here a little fun factoid. We are in Manhattan, and more than 1 million people live on this island. Oh my goodness, no wonder it's always so crowded everywhere I go. Woof. Well, they got out of the cab on a bustling street, lots of neckties and cell phones and fast-moving feet. It seems they were all thinking about money to spend. To make sense of it all, Larry asked a new friend. Oh, this is Wall Street, and this is a famous statue of a bull on Wall Street that you'll find there. I've seen it. I've taken pictures with that thing. In a new neighborhood, they made their next stop, full of bookstores and galleries and restaurants and shops. Now we're in Greenwich Village, even though it looks like Greenwich. Greenwich. It's actually just pronounced Greenwich, and this place is really super funky and cool. There's no room for train tracks on the surface of town, so the family bought tickets and went deep underground. That's right, the subway. From the train, Larry lunged for a triangle-shaped snack, quite sure he could eat it in time to get back. Oh no, I don't think this is going to go well. He grabbed it and chomped, sending cheese in the air. Then he heard a loud whoosh and saw Pete wasn't there. First of all, you should never leave the subway thinking you could rush right back in. Second of all, I don't recommend eating snacks on the floor. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, do not eat the snacks on the floor, no matter how appetizing they look. Thank you, Perry. To begin his search, Larry went up, up, up. Such a very long staircase for a lost little pup. A huge station appeared at the top of his climb, where a shiny round clock kept the people on time. We're at Grand Central Station. Can you believe more than 100,000 people pass through here every day to catch a train? Woof! That's a lot of people. Also, they have a Mac store. Once outside, he ran in a wandering line, past fluttering flags, each a different design. Where is he? Oh, he's right by the United Nations building, where you have the flags of dozens and dozens and dozens of countries. The scent of a hot dog guided his feet to a people-filled place where a bunch of streets meet. Cars zooming at red lights, then zooming on green. The billboards and buildings were the biggest he'd seen. The whole place seemed to Larry like a circus outside, or a honking loud, blinking light carnival ride. Now, I love this area. This is Times Square, which is right by Broadway. It was so hard to leave this exciting square, but he had to. He could see that Pete wasn't there. I don't know how he could see that. You can't see anything in Times Square from the crowds. All through New York, Larry looked high and low. Where could Pete be? Where on earth did he go? The family went uptown on train number 4 to a big baseball place where they heard the crowd roar. They're at Yankee Stadium up in the Bronx. Meanwhile, Larry wondered about a building he'd found. People called it a square, even though it was round. Madison Square Garden. I never thought about that. It is round. Why isn't it called Madison Round Garden? Well, and then let's see, they're going through the New York subway system here. It says it has more than 6,000 subway cars, and at least 3,000 of them smell weird. The purple line took Pete, Mom, and Dad to a place where they saw a big planet and rockets for space. They went south on the Q train. Hey, that's my train. But just like before, there was no sign of Larry at this place by the shore. This is Coney Island in Brooklyn. This place up here with the funny rocket-looking thing for space is up in Queens. This was actually made for the 1964 World's Fair, back when they still had them. Thinking of Pete, Larry stayed on the hunt and passed a great building with a fountain out front. People walked in dressed up, looking smart. Inside, a performance was ready to start. This is Lincoln Center, where they have the symphony, the ballet, the opera, and Broadway, all in one spectacular fountain-surrounded place. Larry then found a ship that could not be ignored, so big and so mighty, with a museum on board. That's the Intrepid. Other cool vessels caught Larry's eye, one for deep water and some for the sky. He ran round in circles, but that made him dizzy. He missed Pete and wondered, just where on earth is he? That's Columbus Circle. It's a very confusing place for motorists and hard to cross the street when you're walking. I'm just saying. Central Park. Oh, you've all heard of Central Park, haven't you? Outside, he could run, chase frisbees, and bark, for he had discovered a giant-sized park. So many trees and a pond in this scene. It looked just like an oasis of green. Oh, that's just lovely, but I guess we're leaving. Step after step up a mountain he climbed. This place looked important. Could Pete be inside? This is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and it has more than 2 million works of art from long, long ago to just the other day. In another museum, Larry had quite a scare. He was lost, but this monster seemed not to care. Wandering into the next art-filled space, Larry searched, without luck, for Pete's friendly face. Well, we've jumped from the Museum of Natural History to the MoMA. Now where? Oh, I see where we're going. Then back in the city, he saw beautiful sights, buildings and sculptures, all shiny and bright. This is the Rockefeller Center. I like that place. Oh, really, Perry? Yeah, every year they light up a big tree, and I like to go skating. If they have, pelican-sized ice skates, that's a little bit challenging to get sometimes. Well, anyway, carry on. Okay, thank you. He saw a young girl tying her laces. Larry gave her one of his most "I'm lost, help me" faces. Her mom patted his head and checked his ID. Now I'll find Pete, Larry thought. Lucky me! Oh, finally, somebody at Radio City Music Hall thought to look at his ID tag. And find him he did with the help of that pair. The whole family was way, way, way far up in the air. Way those little people right there. He was so glad to have that tag round his neck as he hugged Pete on the building's famous roof deck. Where are we? Well, this is the Empire State Building. Isn't it beautiful and tall? And they have a beautiful observatory up there. You can go see the whole city from there. As the sun sank lower in the big city sky, a big green lady, that one, waved them goodbye. That's the Statue of Liberty, you know. And they're on the Staten Island Ferry, which is free and super fun. Larry and Pete fell asleep right away. It had been an exciting, exhausting day. Yeah, I'll say. I mean, they went from the Bronx to Queens to Manhattan to Brooklyn to Staten Island. I mean, they covered a lot of territory. I mean, I know New York, and if you're gonna do that much, boy, you're gonna be exhausted. Well, kid, I hope you got some cool ideas of maybe where you want to go, places you want to see and visit when you come to New York. It's my kind of town, you know what I'm saying? Yep, I know what you're saying. Well, kid, see you next time on KidTime StoryTime, which is not only in New York, but we're sort of an international conglomerate, you know?